back to the Switch, I decided that I wanted to finally finish Link's Awakening, because I got to the seventh world, or well, the seventh like dungeon, probably last year. I just completely fell away, like completely bored of the game. Wasn't interested, like it just seemed really like obtuse on occasions. So resumed that a few months ago, actually. Done that level 7, that was it like Eagle's Nest or something that's called, I can't really remember, but I've done that.
Boss is cool.
I can't really remember.
Is that
the one with like the eagle flying over? Yeah.
Yeah, 2D rather than isometric.
Yeah, so I'd done that, and then like I didn't really feel like continuing it at that point. I maybe just got on to a different game. I can't really remember, but this weekend I thought, right, I'm going to finish it this time. So I had got myself up to the 8th dungeon, played through that, and it was okay. Came out of that, and with most of the dungeons, like I found if you weren't placing markers down, well, certainly the later dungeons, if you weren't placing like markers down on the map to remember where staircases led to and stuff, it got really confusing. Like, and I did find myself searching around for a while I remember there was like 2D sections in that dungeon where there was like ice blocks in the way, and like I had no way of getting past that. And then when I eventually did get it's the rod, I can't remember the specific name of it, but whenever I got that to finally do it, it's like, right, where were those sections at? And I did find myself going around the map quite a few times to try and find it, and like usually when you're in the map you're sort of like logged into a certain way, and it was always quite hard to get round to different sections of it. It's like if you're in one place, it's like, oh, you had to go a whole way around to get somewhere else. And to me it was like, most Zelda games have like the great dungeon design, you know, like they sort of like curve back in on themselves, you know, and like once you do a bit you're back at the start really. So I just didn't really like the way they were structured in this game. So once I'd done that level, I was like, right, I can go to the egg now. Brilliant. Last stretch here. So climbed up the ladder, then up the stairs to the big egg. Realised that I didn't have a way of getting in. Because I sort of figured you had to play a tune. It's like, the only tune I had was like one with like a frog, and I can't remember what that was for actually. But so came back down into the village, and then met the girl again. Can't remember her name.
Marin.
Yeah, Marin. Yep. So spoke to her and kind of figured, I think it's a tune from her that I need to get in. So brought the ocarina out, and she taught me the tune. So went back up to the egg, played the tune, and yep, thankfully egg opened. Brilliant. Here we go. And then you find it's like a sort of almost like a Lost Woods type thing where you go in and then you're in a room with like 3 different exits.
Mm-hmm.
So sort of went through a couple of them. It's like, right, obviously this isn't going anywhere. I need to find out which doors I need to go through. So sort of like shuffled over to the doors to see if the music gets louder or something. That didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, right. So I went to like, you know, those wee like phone box houses just to see if there's any hints or whatever.
Mr.
No
Right.
hints. Yeah, so no hints there. So ended up going online to Google to find out what you're supposed to do. And to my absolute disgust, realised that you had to have completed the entire fetch quest.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't really remember how far I got up through on the fetch quest, especially having never played like the original game before. So I ended up looking at a guide online and finding out kind of where I thought I had done to, and that was fair enough. And then finding out who I had to go to next, and then I went to that person next, traded the item, and then realised that the item they gave me is like, I don't know where I'm supposed to take this either. And I'm not spending any more time hunting around this whole place trying to figure out where to go. So I actually just followed the guide the whole way to eventually get the wee magnifying glass to be able to go back to the library to read a book to tell me how to get through the egg. So did that, beat the final boss, and the game will be sold at the next available opportunity, because I don't like it at all. I don't think it's very good, and the frame rate, I'm amazed that they didn't actually go and try and patch that or fix it, because it's still absolutely shocking. I can't believe how the game runs.
Yeah.
In the open world, the outside sections, is the frame rate when you go into a temple okay?
I think so, yeah. I don't really remember noticing it inside, but outside it just runs. Like, it's so noticeable, and just, like, if I thought the game was like great otherwise, I would sort of accept it, but I just don't think the game is good enough, and it sort of like shows its age in the way, like, how obscure it is, and like the sort of overall design of it. It's just not a Zelda game for me, and it's just kind of highlighted for me just that there's probably more games in the Zelda timeline that I actually dislike rather than like at this point. So yeah, I know there are plenty of fans out there, and I know in particular, like, Brian Altano on IGN, he's always says that he says it's his best. He says it's his best game ever. Like, good luck to you, Brian, because I don't see it, like, and that's unfortunate.
Nostalgia. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a like if you've enjoyed our content. You can also check out our other great content on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the N-E Café podcast from all good podcast providers. Just follow the links in the description below.